Welcome everyone to another episode of building an NFT game. My name is Philip, and in this video we're going to finish up this front end a little bit, make it look a bit prettier, make it look a bit more like a game, and making it a bit more practical in terms of how we display things. Make it look a little bit more like an actual game. This video is going to be a little bit different than the previous ones. I'm not going to go step by step through exactly what I'm doing. Instead, I'm going to speed up quite a lot of it, because a lot of it is just HTML and styling and CSS that there's nothing for me to explain. It's just a way of styling things, and you don't have to style it exactly as I do. You can style it in your own way. I just want to show with this video an example of how I could make this look as a game. So feel free to pause the video or slow it down on the sections where you need to see what I'm doing, but I'm of course going to share all my code as we go along. So the first thing that I want to do is to actually introduce some sort of nav bar here, and then make this look a bit more like an actual home screen with some playful colors and so on. We're going to start in index.html, and we're going to add a nav bar to the top of the body. And here I'll just add some example stuff. We're not actually going to use the menu because we don't have that many pages yet. We basically just have one page, but it will give us a look and feel for what it could look like. There we go. Now I have a nice menu up here. I'll fix the CSS later with the pointers, but I think that's because these are not actually linking to anything yet. So that's good. Now I have a menu here. We could have our logo once we have a nice logo. And then after here, I want to put in some nice promotional banner sort of. I'll name this promo. And here we can have sort of our site title, right? So collect and breed. We don't have any breeding functions yet, but it's easy to build. And we could have like a get started button here, right? I have this here. I'm going to remove this jumbotron. We're not going to use that anymore. We have that. Let's go ahead and style this a little bit. Now you can see it looks a bit better. We need some nice backgrounds here. So I've generated a gradient that I thought looked quite cool. You can just Google for CSS gradient if you want a tool to build this, to build a nice gradient. So this looks something like this. Looks quite good. Now we just got to change some colors here and maybe make some nice frame. That looks good. Maybe we can add an image here as well. So I created an image that looks like this. Let me show you. Like this. That I thought I would use in the banner. So I just put this here. You can basically do it in Paint. I did it in Photoshop, but you can do it in Paint. So we can use that nice banner. Maybe the colors don't really match our orange style background, but that's okay. It's gonna look okay. So I have banner.png here. I'm gonna put that in, let's see, in the promo here somewhere.
I'll put it in here.
There we go. Maybe we could reposition it a little bit here. That's good. All right, so I'm quite satisfied with this. And then we need to tidy this up a little bit because there's no padding here. So we need to add padding to our content there. That would be our game div. Add some padding to the top and bottom. There we go. Then I also think these are a little bit too big, so we're gonna make them, instead of 4, what are these? They are in main.js. So instead of 4, we're gonna make them with 3. So now we fit 4 of them. And then let's see if we can also add to make sure that we have some spacing in between here. We can set the bootstrap classes here. I think it's M1. We will get some margin. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. And if we set MX1, we will just get it in the X direction. So that looks quite good. And the last thing that I thought we would do here is that instead of having this time to starvation thing, which is just a date time, we should have a bar down here, which will tell us, it will count down basically how long this NFT has to live before we need to feed it, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. So that's what we're gonna do here. So I want to add a bootstrap progress bar right above the button right here. So to do that, we add a div. It's going to be class progress. So this is a bootstrap class. And now all we need to do is set the width of this. So if we set style width to 50%, or let's see, width, there we go, to 50%, we should already be able to see that out here. So now both of these have 50%. And we also need to, yeah, this button needs some, the feed button needs some margin to the top. There we go. So now we only need to set this dynamically, and then we should also have it so that it updates without us having to refresh the page. So that means that we need to calculate how large of a percentage the bar is currently at. And in order to help us think about that, we can first start to think about, okay, what is the max bar? So when should the bar be at its maximum, when it should be 100% filled? Well, that should be when the NFT has its maximum life, and that is just after it has been fed. That means that it's the same thing as endurance. When the NFT just has been fed, that means it has the amount of seconds left in its life is equal to endurance. So we could set that here. So the max time that it will live is data.endurance, okay? And then we just need to calculate, okay, and 0 is of course when it has no life left, so that would be death time. That's when it's 0. So where are we in between max time and death time? That's what we have to calculate. And in order to do that, first of all, we need the now a bit higher up, so we're gonna define that at the top here. And then we need the current Unix timestamp, so we can get that from now with get time. This will get us the current time in Unix timestamp, meaning in milliseconds from 1970. But we need it in seconds because Solidity works in seconds, JavaScript works in milliseconds. So we're going to convert this to seconds. So math floor, all of this divided by 1,000. So that means we'll get seconds instead of milliseconds, and we will round that down to the nearest second. Okay, so now that we have the max time and the current Unix time, we need to figure out how many seconds are left in the life of this NFT. So seconds left, that would be equal to whatever is the death time subtracted by the current time, right? That would be how many seconds is left. So we know the current time in seconds, that is current Unix. So what is the death time? Well, that would be this. Let's see. There we are. So the last meal plus whatever endurance we have. That's the current time. Okay? And now what is the percentage left? So we'll say percentage left in the life. If the life max time is this, that the percentage left is seconds left divided by max time. We can consolidate this here so that, okay, percentage left, and then take that here. Let's see what's going on here. Oh yeah, one too many parentheses. There we go. We can console log that there. And we can see where we are. First of all, we need to redeploy this because our NFTs are dead. So we're gonna redeploy this. And then I'm not gonna forget to set the contract address. There we go. So now I should have two NFTs that are live, hopefully. Let's see here. Okay, so now we see got an error here. Now .getTime is not a function, so I misspelled this. It should be a small non-capital G. There we go. Now we have our NFTs here, and we can see that they're gonna die here in the future. And we console log their percentage left in life. So we see we have about 99% for both of them left in their life, which makes sense. So 1 would be 100%, so this is 0.99. Now all that we need to do is use that to set the width here to whatever percentage this is. So we need to convert this 0.99 to percentage string, which would be equal to percentage left, first of all, times 100, right? So that 0.99 goes to 99, and then plus a string like that. Okay, and then we're gonna set this percentage string as the width right here. Let's try that. There we go. So now they have the width 99.91 blah 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 blah. All right, so that's good. Now only thing that's left in order to make this really cool is that this will update every minute or so. So let's create an interval. And we can actually remove this. Let's remove this death time because it takes up so much space, you see? It takes up so much space. All of this. Okay, I want to get rid of that. There we go. So now we don't need this. We don't need this. Well, dead could be... Okay, let's remove that for now. We'll remove the dead label as well. Well, it's still interesting to figure out if we've passed the death time, because we might do something here later. NFT dead. Okay, so we'll keep that. But we need to set up an interval. Meaning that this will create a function for us that will run every, let's say, 10 seconds. Or let's do 5 seconds just for demonstration purposes. And here we'll do the same things. We'll take... What should we do? Well, we'll need to calculate all of this again. Inside here. I know this isn't clean. We should break this out into a function and so on, but let's be a bit quicker. So we're going to do that. And then we need to set... We need to update this progress bar every time. But let's see if we can do that like this. We'll take this ID first. And then we want to change the progress bar. This is of course a ID and this is a class, and then this should produce an array. We'll see. I think it will produce an array. And for this we'll set CSS style equal to percentage string. Let's see if that works. Now this will run every second and we can inspect. Oh, okay. Let's see, that's not a function. Should we have it without this? Of course this should be with, not style. I'm so used to JavaScript. With should be percentage string. Let's try this. There we go. Now it's actually updating. So let's try this again, but with some NFTs that they're not so long-lived. So let's say that they have way shorter time span here. Let's only live 1,000 and 2,000 seconds. And let's migrate this again. Copy the contract address. Here, save, go back. And let's now view these bars decreasing, and you can see it in, every 3 seconds or so they're gonna decrease, and you can see, let's see, this will be the faster one. So I'll fast forward this and you will see it in action. Now you see them decrease in a faster pace. And if you want this to be more smooth, you could check every second, but once you start to get a lot of NFTs, you can't have all of these timeouts running all the time because it would take up a lot of memory and it will drive the page to be pretty slow. But now you can see they will decrease, and once they hit 0, we should probably do something spectacular. Well, you can do that. When they hit 0, you would have to check inside here. When it hits 0 like this, you could, for example, gray out the button. You could gray out the image using CSS filters. And what we should do is that we should get rid of the time interval. So if the thing is actually dead, I'll need to bring in death time as well. Or rather, we don't actually need that. We can get rid of this and we can use if percentage left is smaller than 0, because that will become negative. Then we can use clear interval to clear out this interval, which we saved here. That will stop this function from executing all the time. Now let's check on our, so this one is already dead. This one is becoming dead. So that provides some more interactivity, and with that done, we're done with this little series here. And obviously this is not too much of an exciting game, but now you have every possibility in the world to extend on this game. You can create functionality where you can breed these two, where you can take, build a new function in your smart contract where you can input 2 IDs of parents, and you will get some sort of offspring with unique capabilities from the 2 parents and so on. You could have some fighting mode where you can battle against other players. You could challenge them, you could win stuff. There are a ton of different things that you can do in this game. And with Moralis, you can of course work cross-chain and with second layer as well with Matic. So there are a ton of exciting things that you can do. And this video series was meant to showcase what you actually can done with Moralis, with Ethereum and Solidity in quite a little time. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I would love to see you share whatever you've built in the comment section or in the Moralis Discord or forum. But if you haven't joined the Moralis beta yet, where you can build serverless dApps in the easiest way possible, get MetaMask and wallet authentication for users, and user authentication, both cross-chain and second layer. It's really powerful. Go check it out at moralis.io and register for the beta. It's completely free. You can join our community of developers in Discord. So make sure to do that, and I'll see you in the next video.